Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sharing and Presenting Your VR Projects with Yulio webinar. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the client success specialists here at Yulio, and I'll be hosting today's session. Our main objective of today's webinar is to learn all about how you can share, showcase, and present your VR projects using a variety of tools and features that are available directly within your Yulio account. This training will cover a lot of information, so if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to enter them in the question box and I will stick around to answer them during the Q&A period at the end of our session. My contact details are also on the screen now, so if you'd like to follow up on today's webinar with a walkthrough of anything we did or didn't cover today, you can feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to set up a time to meet with you. Lastly, if you do have to leave today's session early, know that I'm recording the full webinar and we'll be sending that to all registrants so you'll be able to watch it later and you can share it with your team as well. So here's our agenda for today's webinar. We'll start off by going over some options for sharing your projects internally across teams. We'll then go over some of the ways Yulio enables you to share your projects with clients. We'll then do a mock collaborate session and go over project analytics at the end. And of course, like I said, I'll leave some time to answer any questions at the end of our session. So the first topic we're going to cover today is internal sharing. So this section will be specific to our Yulio users who have an account with multiple team members on it. The goal here is to show you how you can share your Yulio projects and work collaboratively with your colleagues across teams. This section won't be as relevant to you if you have an account with only one seat, but just bear with me here and I'll move on to sharing your projects with clients in just a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to open my Yulio account to get started. If you're new to Yulio, the page we're on right now is what we call the projects page. This is where you can create a new project and where all of the projects on your account are stored. Yulio offers a folder system to help keep your projects organized. So you can see all of the folders I've created along the left side of my screen. If you have more than one team member connected to your company's Yulio account, folders are a great tool for collaborating and sharing projects amongst each other as well. So we offer two different types of folders, public and private. Your private folders are the solid black folders you see here, and these can help control access to select projects, as well as protect your work from accidental edits or deletions. These folders are visible to you and any team members you select to give access to, as well as anyone listed as an admin on your account. So to create a new folder, you would just click on the Create New Folder button on the left side of your screen here. And then once you click on that button, this pop-up will appear for you to name your folder. So we'll name this webinar. Oops. Now, by default, all new folders are created in your account as private folders. So you can click and drag on your folder to reorder it or create a subfolder. If your Yulio account has multiple team members connected to it and you want to share your private folder with everyone, you can actually drag it under your team folder to make it public. All right, now for our public folders. So that would be this team folder here and any other folders we've added underneath. So as I just mentioned, this folder is public by default. So adding projects to this folder or adding subfolders under team is a simple way to give access to and share projects with everyone on your account. It's also great for collaborating because anyone on the account will be able to edit and update the projects within these folders. Another thing you can do to move around projects and share projects with team members on your account is to actually use our Move Project tool. So, for example, if you have a project in one of your private folders that you want to make public to your team, but you don't want to share the entire folder, you can just move the project to a public folder. So, to do this, you would one of your uh, open up a folder and then select which project you want to move. So I'll move this. Let's say I want to move this office space project here. I can click on these three dots and then select move from the drop down menu. And when I do this, I can choose to move it to any of the folders here, including that public folder. We also have a duplicate function. So, in a scenario where you want to move the project, but you don't want to potentially affect the original copy, you can duplicate the project first and then move the copied version over to a public folder. So, to do this, you would again find that project that you want to duplicate. You can click on these three dots and then select duplicate. And then once you do this, the copied project will appear in this folder. And from there, you would again, just repeat the steps I showed you previously to move that project to a new folder in your account if you want to. Okay, so that covers our bases for sharing projects internally with other team members on your Yulio account. Now we're going to get into some of the different ways you can share your projects externally with clients or colleagues outside of your Yulio account. So I'm going to start off by showing you our simple URL sharing tools. And I'll just start by opening one of my projects here. So when you open a project in your account, it will take you to this page here, which is what we call the project edit page. From here, you'll see four tabs at the top of the page, and they all serve their own purpose. So we have assets, which we're in now, and this is where you upload and see all of the content in your project. Next, we have markups, which we'll go over later. We have share and analytics, which we'll also go over a little bit later. For now, I'm just going to click on the share tab. This is where you can find our simple URL sharing tools for individual projects within your account. The first thing you'll notice when you open this tab is your project URL. Each project you create with Yulio will generate its own unique viewing link, and you can come here to copy the link and essentially share it with anyone um, externally or internally in your account. And you can share it anywhere you might share a regular URL. So anyone with the URL can open and view your full VR project with or without a Yulio license. So this is really the simplest, fastest way to share your projects externally. The only time a person would not be able to view the project through the viewing link is if you've manually set your project to private, which you can do by clicking on this settings icon here. Now, that's the only time that someone might not be able to view your Yulio project. Okay, so on the left side of the URL, we have a tab that allows you to adjust the starting scene to which your project opens. This is helpful if you want your client to look at a specific scene in your project without having to move through all the other scenes to get to it. You would just click on this blue button here and then select Choose Starting Scene. And then from this drop down here, you can select a new opening scene from all of the scenes in your project. Okay, on the right side of the URL, we have a few more sharing options. The first icon here opens your project's unique QR code. that you can download and share. QR codes are a great tool to use at a meeting, event, or even a trade show. You can essentially download the QR code and include it in a presentation deck or even have it on display at your booth. And anyone with a smartphone can scan that code and view the project right on their phone. If your team and your clients use VR headsets, we actually released a feature recently that allows anyone with a compatible MetaQuest headset to scan the project's QR code with their headset's camera and view the project immediately in VR. You just have to have the Yulio app downloaded to your headset, which is free to download, and you don't have to have a Yulio account to download the app. So you can learn a little bit more about this feature if that's something you're interested in our knowledge base just by searching for view by QR code. So you can access our knowledge base by clicking on this resources tab and then knowledge base. And again, that's our view by QR code feature. The next icon we have beside QR code is our text sharing tool. This allows you to share the link to your project via text message. And again, they can open the project right on their phone. The last button I want to show you here is our um, embed icon, and that it allows you to embed your project directly on your website. This is a great tool for showcasing a portfolio of Yulio projects on one of your web pages on your website. If you're not familiar already with how to embed content on your website, I suggest reaching out to your marketing or IT team to help you. They would likely be able to know how to do that for you. There are some settings here that you can adjust, which determine how your project will look and perform once it's embedded. So you can adjust the size of the project as it displays on your website. And then these viewer controls here allow you to turn on or off the controls that the viewer has, such as moving scene to scene and sharing. And we do have, again, a knowledge base article that goes into more detail about these settings. So if this is something you're interested in, you can refer to that article anytime from our knowledge base as well. Okay, now I just want to give you an idea of what an embedded project might look like. So I'm going to open our VR showcase on our website. And here is an embedded project on our account. So it basically works just like if you were viewing the project in browser mode. So you can view the full scene in 360, and then if there's navigation hotspots included, you can click on those and move to new scenes. And yeah, it's a really great tool to use if that's something you would want to show on your website. Okay, so on top of the tools you see here, we have a couple more features available within your account that allow you to share and present your VR projects with clients and teammates. So, the first one we're going to take a look at is our Client Galleries tool, which you can access from the Resources tab and then Client Galleries. So, Client Galleries allows you to create a collection of up to 20 projects to share directly with your client, or you can create a curated gallery of projects that you can use for meetings, events, or trade shows. I already have two client galleries created, which you can see here. To create a new client gallery, you can click on the Create Client Gallery button. And here you'll be met with two gallery options. We have individual and event. And you can create an unlimited number of either galleries. So, individual gallery allows you to create and share a portfolio of projects directly with your client. It provides them a space to log in, view their gallery, and connect to headset. This is a super convenient way to share a collection of projects with a client without having to send multiple project links to them. So you can update your client's gallery at any time, and those updates are reflected immediately for your client as well. On top of this, if your client has a MetaQuest VR headset, they can connect their headset to the gallery, and any projects uploaded to the gallery will be sent right to their headset as well. Now, for event galleries. An event gallery allows you to create a gallery of up to 20 projects that are preloaded onto one or more VR headsets for something like an upcoming meeting or event. This would be useful if you have a presentation or event coming up and you want to load one or more headsets with a curated gallery of projects that are separate from your generic headset gallery. So, your generic headset gallery would be the gallery that you manage from the headsets tab here. Event galleries can only be viewed in from a VR headset as well, so that's something to note. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to create an individual gallery for a client. You would just select this create individual gallery button, and then you'll just enter their name and their email. The next step would be to add projects to the gallery, and then you just save and send the invitation. Once the gallery is created, your client will receive a link to their email to access the gallery, and then your client is able to view all of their projects in browser mode, or connect a headset and view in VR. And I'm just going to show you what an example of a client gallery will look like to your client. So if you create a gallery for your client, and this is what they'll see on their end. Okay, the next tool I want to show you is Collaborate. And you can access Collaborate just by clicking on the Collaborate tab in the top navigation menu. So, Collaborate is Yulio's best tool for presenting your projects to clients and colleagues. When you host a Collaborate session, you can invite guests to meet in the same virtual space, whether they're meeting with you remotely or in person. And during your session, you can guide your guest through the space, see what they're seeing, and collect feedback. Like I said, this feature is used for in person and remote meetings, and even at events. So, all the guests that you're meeting with can join from either a VR headset or in browser mode on their phone or computer or tablet. So, to launch the session, you'll just click on Start Collaborating. And as the host, you must launch a Collaborate session from your browser. You can't actually launch a session from a VR headset. Next, you're just going to select which project you'd like to host your session in. Something to note here is that if you have a headset connected to your account and you have projects uploaded to your headset gallery, when you start a Collaborate session, by default, the first project in your headset gallery will auto load. Right now, I have this setting turned off, which is why I'm going to go ahead and select my project here manually. Um, but just know that if I didn't have that setting turned off, um, ga- whatever project I have in my headset gallery, uh, whatever project's first in my headset gallery will auto load when I start a Collaborate session. If you'd also like to turn that setting off like I've done, you can do this just by opening your settings tab in Collaborate and turning off auto load first headset project. Okay, so I've started my session. Now, to add guests to the session, you can click on this participants tab here. Oh, sorry, the add participants tab. So it has that plus icon on it. If your guests are in a position where they can see the screen that we're looking at now, they can actually scan this QR code with their phone or a compatible VR headset and join on their mobile device or their headset. If they can't see your screen, you can simply send them the session link in the unique group code, which you can see underneath the QR code here. So they would just be able to join in browser mode if they'd like as well. Okay, so I'm going to actually invite whoever wants to join this session to join today on their mobile device. So you can either scan this QR code with your phone's camera, or you can open the browser on your phone and visit live.yulio.com and enter the group code. So the group code for today's session is PV3E. So again, you can just scan the QR code with your camera or go to live.yulio.com and enter that group code. So when a new guest joins, you'll be able to see them, their name pop up here in the participants tab. And if you've joined on your mobile device, you can look at my screen to see what your perspective will be as you host sessions moving forward. And then what you see on your mobile device is what your guest experience will look like. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our session. The first thing I want to point out is a newer feature, and that's our live meeting tool. So that is this start chat button here. Live meeting is an integrated function within Collaborate that allows you to speak to and hear from your guests right within the Collaborate session. So this means you no longer have to use an external communication or meeting tool to chat with your guests while you're in Collaborate, specifically if you're collaborating remotely. So what's great about this tool is that it works whether your guests are joining from a smartphone, desktop, tablet, or a VR headset. To turn it on, you would just click on that start chat button and you can start communicating in real time with your clients or colleagues. I'm going to leave it off today just for the webinar, but it's super simple to use and it will really elevate your collaborate sessions, being able to talk live with those that you're collaborating with. If you want to learn more about live meeting, we do again have an article in our knowledge base that goes into more detail. Of course, if you have any questions about it, you can also email me anytime. So if I was using it today, I'd go ahead and turn it on now. Okay, now looking at my screen, as the host, there's two ways you can present your Collaborate session. I'm just going to go to this participants tab here. So we have present mode, which I'm in now, and explore mode. By default, your Collaborate sessions will always open in present mode. We recommend starting off in this mode just because it gives you, as the host, the control to guide your viewers through the experience and direct your viewers' attention to certain areas in a scene. So when you're in this mode, only the host can activate hotspots and move to new scenes. The guest isn't able to navigate throughout the project in this mode. Before we start looking around, an important thing to note is that while in presenter mode, your guest screens will not be following your gaze exactly. So if you join the session, you'll notice that we're in the same scene, but as I look around, the view on your phone doesn't follow. That being said, you can always direct your guest's attention to a certain area just by using this spotlight button at the top right side of your screen. So let's say I want to direct everyone's attention over to this table here. I would move my gaze to the table and then select the spotlight tool. So if you join the session, you should see that your gaze was redirected to match mine. Okay, let's take a little bit of a tour of this project and kind of what we can do in Collaborate. So I'll go ahead and open up this floor plan. As you can see, when I open up the floor plan, it should open on your screen as well. And from here, we can see all these different location markers, which reflect the various scenes in my project. Now, if I click on one of these, we'll all move to a new scene. Let's move here. Actually, I'm going to click on view 4. I'm going to move us now to view 4. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we're viewing the space from a new location. Over here, we have a video hotspot. And if I go ahead and open that, it will pop up on your phone as well. If I turn around now, behind me, there's a text hotspot. So again, if I open that up, you should see that pop up on your phone as well. Now I'm just going to go over a few more of the host controls that are available at the top of your screen. So we already went over the spotlight button, which allows you to redirect the attention of your guests. We also have this scene list tab. This allows you to just quickly jump to a new scene. So that's useful if maybe your project doesn't have a floor plan where you can jump to a new scene. It's just kind of a simple way to do that. This next tab here is where you can actually go ahead and open up a whole new project if you want to switch between projects. And then the last one here is our project markup tool. So this is a really good tool to use while in Collaborate. It essentially allows you as the host to mark up the project during your session. So it's great for recording client or colleague feedback in real time during your sessions. And then all of the markups you make during the session are automatically saved and recorded to the project's markup report, which you might remember I pointed to earlier. I'll show you that again after the session. But when you click on that pencil tab, you'll see a couple of markup tools available here. So I can click on this pen icon and actually draw on the project itself. I can circle things, X things. And then I can also click on the text comment button to make text comments. So I can write show alternative table. And then if you join the session, you'll see that when I use the markup tool, the participants and the guests can see those markups on their screen as well and follow along. And then, like I said, all of these are saved in our markup report, which I'll show you in just a minute. So my final note about hosting your Collaborate sessions in present mode is that you can actually give select presenter privileges to a guest at any time. So to do this, you would just click on their name in the session, and then they'll be able to freely explore the project and kind of take control of that presentation. So with presenter privileges, the new presenter can activate all hotspots and navigate the group to new scenes. And as we can see, John's looking at some of the tables here. And then if they activate a hotspot, it will activate on our end again, just like it did when I was activating those hotspots. If they switch scenes, we'll also switch scenes as well. And then as the host, whenever I'm ready, I can take back presenter mode at any time just by clicking on my name again. Now for explore mode, you can switch to this mode anytime just by clicking on the explore tab. When you're in this mode, all guests can explore the project freely and independently. So they can activate hotspots, navigate to new scenes, and do all of that on their own. During this time, Explore mode will actually gaze through each guest view about every 10 to 15 seconds, just so you can see what all your guests are looking at and where they're exploring. If you're in Explore mode and you want to take back control, again, just click on Present. Okay, so that concludes our mock Collaborate session. I'll just go ahead and end that now and then return to my account. So now I want to just take you to that markup report for that project and show you what the report will look like after you've marked up a project in Collaborate. So I'm going to return to my projects, open up that same project we were just collaborating in, and then select this Markups tab. So here I can see the text markups along the right side of my screen. So there's that markup I made, and if I click on view, it will actually take me to that scene, exactly where I've added that markup. And then I can see, of course, the drawings that I made on the scene itself. While I'm in here, if I wanted to, I can even add more comments or markups. I can also clear the scene fully of the markups or erase certain ones as well. Okay, the final thing I want to go over with you today is our analytics tools. So now that you know how to share and present your projects, our analytics tools can help you keep track of when and how they're being viewed. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. We'll start by going back to our projects page. So we'll exit out of that. And I'm going to open up a project that I'm interested in viewing the analytics for. So let's open up this office. And again, from the project edit page, I'm going to click on analytics this time. So here I can see the data surrounding how, when, and where this specific project has been viewed, and it breaks down that data by individual view. At the top, you can see some more high-level data, such as total views, and then the average session length, so how long people are actually staying in that project for. And then when I scroll down, you can see the individual viewer data, such as like the date and time it was viewed, approximate location, method of viewing, and so on. So that's how you can see the project analytics for a single project in your account. Now, if you want a review of how all of your projects are performing, you can use the Project Traffic Report tool. That's located again under the Resources tab. So we'll go to Resources, Project Traffic Report. And here I can see the data for some viewer data for all of the projects in my account. And then I can also sort this data by the last 7 days, the last 30 days. I can do a custom report of a custom date or date range. And I can even sort the data by date, viewer location, scenes viewed, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to end our collaborate session there, and that will our collaborate session. I'm going to end our webinar there, and that will wrap up today's session. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you were able to learn a little bit more about some of those sharing and presenting tools available in your account and how easy it is to start sharing your projects with your clients. If you have any questions, you can submit them in the question box, and I'll stick around for the next couple of minutes to answer those. And as a reminder, if you want to book an additional training session with me on anything we covered today, my email is up on the screen, so please feel free to reach out, and I'll gladly work with you to set up a time for us to meet. Of course, you can also email me anytime if you have any questions that pop up later. We also have more webinars coming up, and you can view that schedule and register in advance anytime just by going to try.yulio.com/webinars. And that link is also included on our website as well. Okay, so I'll see if we've had any questions come through. But other than that, thank you for joining me again, and have a great rest of your day.